but it's a fun table.
You want me to retire?
But here, let's just listen to this trailer for a second.
I like this movie.
Your parents are avenged. The Wayne Foundation contributes.
It's nostalgic.
Doesn't it make it sound way more dramatic than this movie is?
Yeah.
This is a fan-made re-trailer, that's why. So there's two things that I do like about Batman Forever.
We're totally out of
One of
control. You're
them
gonna get yourself
is I love Val Kilmer, right?
Yeah.
Two, there's no better casting than Jim Carrey's The Riddler. The issues with the movie is that Tim Burton was supposed to direct with Michael Keaton a third Batman movie. But because Batman Returns is so dark, they couldn't sell any toys. So they brought on Joel Schumacher to make it more kiddie and bright and then funny and all this stuff. And then they went even way further in Batman and Robin. Nobody likes that movie. Yeah. Even George Clooney. He's like, yeah, I should never have been in that movie. That movie sucks, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is an absolute horrible movie, but Chris O'Donnell, definitely not a good fucking Robin. Tommy Lee Jones phones it in because he hated Jim Carrey. Like, there's a whole, like, I read, like, the behind the scenes of all this. Like, he hated, because Jim Carrey was constantly the Riddler. That's the type of actor he was at the time. He was always in character.
Yeah.
And he was doing Riddler stuff. And as people rightfully would assume, Tommy Lee Jones is not down with that. He's a very serious, I come in, I act, I do my work. I go back to my trailer.
Yeah.
He doesn't need any of the shenanigans. He's not a shenanigans type of guy. So he decided the only way he could get back is to phone in his performance.
Huh.
I mean, if you go back, I don't know the last time you saw it, and you go back knowing that, you're like, versus like Fugitive and other movies, you're like, yeah, he is phony in like what Tommy Lee Jones could do. He could have been a great Two-Face if he would have not phoned it in.
Yeah.
Like, it's Jim. You knew what you were getting into. Or maybe he didn't.
Maybe he didn't.
Jim Carrey was still pretty new in the movie realm because it came out in '95.
Well, even still, like, maybe he's just got annoyed, by the characteristic of it,
All right, we are about to start Batman Forever. That was the perfect time.
This table looks cool.
This certainly needs an update with the playfield. This is also a quiet table. You have to actually make the ROM louder, and that's a whole thing.
Huh.
But whatever. We're doing novice.
Novice rule set. Let's go. Ball one locked. But you just plungered the.
This needs an alt sound. Maybe there is one. I have to look because it's quiet and please. It's like a generic version of the soundtrack.
Yeah.
And this is still 95. See what I was saying earlier? Like, they kept that for a long time, that, like, more MIDI sound.
Yeah.
And they had the rights to it.
Yeah.
It's not like, who made this table? Sega was like, we're just going to make a Batman Forever table but not have the rights. Like, no, that's not what big companies do. What's the score on this one? What's our top score?
Yeah, I'll go check it.
So when you play the novice versions of pinball tables, basically it's a time limit. And so the ball save will stay there for quite a while. But then after a while, it just goes away. And then once you lose the ball, that's it.
So the top score is 750 million.
Multi-ball's ready.
I did like Jim Carrey as the Riddler.
But here's the thing. Do you know who the first choice for Joel Schumacher was?
Huh.
Robin Williams. Probably the only person that could have outdone Jim Carrey because Jim Carrey, an older Jim Carrey, was able to do really good dramatic movies, but not in this era. He did not have that skill.
No.
And Robin Williams would have been funny because he's Robin Williams, but he could have brought the darkness in there in a way. it just didn't work out. I think it was like scheduling issues or something like that. Because people don't know that when this movie was in production, it was like 94 or whatever. Like, Ace Ventura had come out just that year. So, like, we're thinking, like, oh, why wouldn't you cast Jim Carrey? Because we have the benefit of knowing his whole career up to this point now. But they didn't have that. So it was a big risk.
It would have been hype of, like, because he was funny, and I loved Ace Ventura. I've watched that movie. I watch it every once in a while. Of like,
oh, here it is.
Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel. That whole breakdown.
Well, that whole like early to mid '90s kind of really silly comedies are just classics.
Yeah.
Like, I really love Airheads. I love that movie.
Yeah, that movie's great.
Man, I am playing crappy. What score do I have? My score is not going to matter. So remember, pick novice, because that's what we're basing the scores on. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I played crappy and I still got that. It's a high scoring table.
Yeah. You needed 750 million.
Oh, here it is. The quote is from Ocean's 11. You're either in or you're out. Right now, what is it? That's the whole quote.
Oh.
Dark told us. He found it for us.
Yeah. Awesome, man.
I would have never guessed Ocean's 11. Like, you could have given me a day, and I wouldn't have guessed it.
Yeah.
Guys, we continue our National Video Game Day fun and conversations. What is your favorite fighting game? I'm surprised it took so long to get there. Of all time. Like, it could be because it's nostalgic. It might be crappy and, compared to modern ones. That doesn't matter.
Yeah. Maybe you just liked one, back in the day. 'Cause like,
yeah. You got to hit the plunger button for this. Just time it whenever. What is your favorite fighting game? Kick.
No.
Which?
Bat lives.
I'm going to go first, and this is something that's only changed recently. So if you would have asked me maybe 3 years ago, I would have said Tekken 3. Of the original trilogy of Tekkens, it was the best one. It had so many fighters, and it was a great arcade port.
Right.
But now I would say Third Strike, because it's the one that I always will go back to. Like, I'll never, if somebody's like, hey, do you want to play a couple matches of Third Strike? I'm never going to say no.
Yeah.
So what about you, Dead?
Let's see here. I played a lot of Mortal Kombat 11, and that's a game that I think I'll continue playing. There's people that still play 10, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But you'd say of all time that you consider that?
No, maybe not of all time, because that's a hard question, because there's also King of Fighters 13. So when they came back with that of like,
yeah.
No, I tried getting too fancy with it, but
my favorite fighting game is the very end of Double Dragon, where you both have to fight after the girl in the arcade.
Yeah. That's how you win girls.
Because we were like high-fiving. No, this is a real thing. We're playing on the Sega Master System, not the arcade. Okay. Me and my friend were high-fiving each other because we got past the machine gun guy. It was a big deal. He was the last guy. He's cheap. He has a machine gun and you don't. And then all of a sudden, like, you have the little ending, and it's like you got to fight each other. And immediately, without even a second, we hated each other. I'm like, just to show you the power of video games.
I'll turn on you so quick.
Well, and I won because I was like, I think he hesitated a little bit, and that's all it took.
Yeah. Okay. I'm always scared in the way that drops. Yeah. I'm not digging the audio on this table. I think there's better tables. But it's a fun little one. All right. Let's get my score here.